Hey everybody, Mike Moger, Right Kingdom Real Estate, beautiful sunny Boulder, Colorado. Hey, I want to tell you about something that happened on the way to the closing table in a transaction that I had a number of years ago. It's a pretty dramatic story, but I want you to know that most people, most buyers come to me and they want to buy a home, and they have a vision of what's going to happen, and they expect everything to happen just beautifully. You look at home and you say, oh, I'll take the green one, that kind of thing. We get our price, and the seller will love us, and there aren't problems, but on occasion things happen in this world, and human beings running the world just may not have been the greatest idea ever, but things happen and we deal with them. Well, these people came to me, they had inherited some money and they wanted to buy their first home, and they had never done this before, so I spent quite a bit of time with them. We found the right one over a period of time, and then we negotiated it, got the loan, etc., etc., etc. Well, we got all the way up to the night before closing, and we went to the home on an appointment as scheduled to do our final walkthrough. Now you do that because you want to make sure that the inspection items have been taken care of, that all of the appliances that are supposed to be there are still there, there hasn't been any additional damage, those kinds of things. You want to be sure it's clean. And in fact, the seller was there. She was a wonderful, wonderful little lady who was a concert pianist, professional concert pianist. The cleaning people were just loading up the van. Everything was done. She had completely moved out, and the home looked just wonderful. Everything was perfect, except that her piano was still there. Now, as you walk up to this home, there are these big, beautiful front doors. You open those doors, and in front of you, there's a huge staircase that went all the way up to a second story, 10, 15 stairs. And then off to the left was a wrought iron railing, hardwood floors, beautiful, kind of a lofted area. And that's where she had her piano. It was one of the most beautiful musical instruments I've ever seen. 11-foot Steinway grand piano. It was solid cherry. Oh, it was beautiful. First time we saw the home, I even joked with my clients. I said, your home here is structurally sound. This thing must weigh a ton. So the piano was still there, and a moving company that specialized in the maintenance of pianos was there specifically for that one purpose, just to move the piano and take it to her new home. So everything was going beautifully, and we thanked the seller. It was nice to meet you, that kind of thing. And we walked out, and we were standing next to the car out by the curb. And I remember telling my clients, if you don't have any other questions, tomorrow morning we'll meet at my office at 11 o'clock, and we'll go through the documents one more time. We'll go through the numbers and the process to be sure that all of your questions are answered. No surprises. We don't like surprises. And then we'll sign the documents by 1 o'clock tomorrow. You'll get the keys, and you will own this home. And they said, well, we're not planning on moving in for a couple of weeks, but boy, it's going to be exciting. Oh, they so love this home. Well, you know what happened. That piano got away from those movers, and people have described a tornado as a freight train flying by. The sound is just unbelievable. Well, holy smokes, we hit the deck. By the time the whole thing was done, you can't even describe something like this, but we looked up, and the dust and the dirt was kind of floating back to the earth. The piano was lying upside down in the front yard. Underneath the piano were the front doors and a large portion of the front end of the house. I looked up, you could see through the mist that there was about a 14-foot wide by 7-foot high swath of the front of the house that was just missing. The seller came screaming down the stairs and out into the front. She had her head in her hands, and she, like it was going to fall off. And she was screaming at the top of her lungs, things that no child should ever hear. Oh, what a moment. Well, nobody was hurt. That was number one. We took note of that. We got up, we dusted ourselves off. And my clients, I looked at them, and their eyes looked like saucer plates. They didn't know what was going on. Well, I said, now, you guys, obviously something very bad happened here. This is your home if you want it tomorrow. But I have to ask you the question. If we can make this good, if we can replace all of the damage so that it's equal to or better than what we left the home tonight with, do you still want to buy this home? And they looked at each other. and he looked at me and he said, you know, we just love this home. We are in. And so I said, well, then here's what's going to happen. I'll answer all of your questions right now. And as soon as you're finished and you leave, I'm going to call the listing broker. He's got to be involved in this. We're going to get a structural engineer over here tonight. And we're going to be absolutely certain that that piano coming through that wall did not structurally damage your home and compromise the structural integrity in any way. If it did, it needs to be addressed. By 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're going to have 2 written bids from 2 qualified, good, professional local contractors. And we're going to find out who can do this work in the next couple of weeks and do it very, very professionally, very well. We're going to allow for you guys to choose, you know, some of the materials and whatnot. We will be dealing with insurance companies. We will be dealing with the escrow companies. We'll be dealing with your lender. Monies will be escrowed for all of the damage and all of the costs of all of this inconvenience and damage. And probably in an amount 1.5 times the higher of the 2 bids. We're going to protect you here. And we're going to make sure that the work gets done professionally and quickly, possibly so that you can move in as you had planned in a couple of weeks. Does that work for you? And, you know, she leaned into me, she said, you know, we hated those front doors. We were going to replace them anyway. So the following day, 11 o'clock in the morning, we met at my office. We reviewed all of the escrow documents, the additional documents, all of that. We had talked with the contractors, the lenders, the insurers. We had made all the arrangements, and they signed all the documents at noon that next day. At 1 o'clock, they owned that home. Now, I tell you this story not because I enjoy comedy. I don't like this story, actually. You know, when you live through something like that, it's not fun. But I want you to know that sometimes bad things do happen to good people. Sometimes things out of your control do happen. And what you very much want in a real estate transaction is that chaos does not ensue. I've always said that the most beautiful choreography will be upstaged every time by a single dancer falling headlong into the orchestra pit. Well, if you find yourself in a situation like that during a home purchase, you want to know absolutely that the person with whom you're working, the person representing you on your side of the table, is seasoned and professional and experienced and has the right network and connections to get things done. I want you to know that I believe I'm that person, and I hope that I get to be the person working with you when you purchase your next home. So if you think that this might be the year, if you're thinking that you're going to buy a home this year, give me a call. We should get together pretty soon and talk. Okay. Enjoy the day. Bye now.